Hey, what's up? People Piz out here, and today I want to talk to you guys about 1986's Night of the Creeps. Now, this is partially going to be a review of the movie as well as a review of this new 2-disc collector's edition Blu-ray release from Scream Factory. And what can I say about Night of the Creeps? This movie is supremely entertaining, genuinely fun, and unabashedly campy. This movie has every element that you could possibly want in a sci-fi horror movie with an excellent sense of humor about itself. You've got aliens, you've got parasitic slugs, you've got zombies, you've got buckets of blood, you've got beautiful sorority babes, you've got jerky fraternity frat boys, you've got two outcast losers in the middle of it all, and you've got a burned out, cigarette smoking, Jack Daniels swilling detective trying to make sense out of it all. Now, Night of the Creeps was written and directed by Fred Dekker, who also wrote and directed another one of my all-time favorite movies from the 80s, The Monster Squad. Now, back to back, Fred Dekker, his first two features, Night of the Creeps and The Monster Squad, are two of my, again, all-time favorite movies from growing up. And he wrote and directed both of these movies when he was like 27, 28 years old. It's unfathomable. And I almost feel like going into a plot synopsis for this movie is an insult to the movie. To have to explain what this movie is about almost seems like insulting to the movie, but I'll do so anyway, because I'm sure there's some of you guys out there that have not seen Night of the Creeps. But all you really need to know about Night of the Creeps is that there are these alien parasitic slugs roaming around this college campus. They're getting into people, taking over their minds, turning them into murderous zombies. They incubate inside of them, and after a short while, the zombies' heads explode, and from one parasitic alien slug, there spews forth many parasitic alien slugs. You have these two outcast losers played by Jason Lively and Steve Marshall, who are kind of in the middle of it all. And you have the great Tom Atkins in, I would say this is the role that he was born to play, but every role that Tom Atkins has played is a role that he was born to play, because Tom Atkins is so good. However, Tom Atkins as a burned out, cigarette smoking, Jack Daniels swilling, suicidal, one-liner spewing detective, I mean, Tom Atkins in this role is absolute dynamite. You will never see another performance in any other movie on the level of Tom Atkins' performance as Detective Cameron in Night of the Creeps. That's how darn good it is. I mean, you've got so many great one-liners like "Thrill Me," like, it's Miller time, like "Get the 12 gauge out of my car," or the classic, "I've got good news and bad news, girls. The good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead." And while Night of the Creeps gives us all of the sci-fi horror elements that you could want out of a movie like this, it does so with such a great sense of humor about itself. Just a brilliant sense of humor about itself. There's so many great one-liners in this movie. There's so many great sort of moments where the movie breaks the fourth wall. Every character in this movie is named after a horror director. You've got Tom Atkins' character is Detective Cameron, James Cameron. You've got Romero. You've got Carpenter Hooper. You've got Cronenberg. This is very much an ode to the horror genre, but also to, the sci-fi horror kind of monster movies from the 50s. And there are so many just laugh out loud moments in this movie, between Tom Atkins' one-liners, between the two bumbling friends, just, unwittingly unleashing this parasitic slug plague onto their college campus, to them battling the zombies at the end of the film, in which Jason Lively and Jill Whitlow are brandishing a shotgun and a flamethrower respectively to take out these zombies. It's fantastic stuff. This is an exceptionally well-made movie. It looks great. The pacing is tight. The score is fantastic. The performances from top to bottom are awesome. The makeup effects from K&B are great. This is an amazing movie. This is a great movie. If you've not seen Night of the Creeps, by all means, go out and watch Night of the Creeps immediately. This Blu-ray from Scream Factory would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film. If you're a fan of Night of the Creeps, you definitely want to look in to picking up this Blu-ray from Scream Factory and adding it to your collection. First, let's take a look at the presentation here. We've got a nice slipcase with the original artwork for the film on it. We have the same artwork here on the sleeve. The sleeve, however, is reversible, and you have some alternate artwork there on the reverse of the sleeve, which is very nice. This is a 2-disc release. Disc 1 features the theatrical cut of the film, and Disc 2 features the director's cut of the movie. Personally, I prefer the director's cut of the film. The theatrical cut of Night of the Creeps ends on, honestly, kind of a downer. That it doesn't spoil the movie, but it's just not a great way to end this kind of movie. As far as the picture quality and sound quality for this release is concerned, the back of the Blu-ray doesn't say anything about any kind of elaborate restoration or anything like that. It just says 1080p high definition widescreen. But the picture quality on this release I thought was absolutely fantastic. I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. Same with the audio quality. I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. As far as extras are concerned, on the director's cut disc, which contains all of the new extras, first up we get Real Good Plan, an interview with actor Jason Lively. It's 10 minutes and 46 seconds in length. Mr. Lively discusses auditioning for Night of the Creeps. He discusses being excited to be in Creeps because he's a big horror fan. He discusses shooting on a real college campus and actually going to parties and hanging out as if he were just another college student between takes. He discusses working with Fred Decker, Tom Atkins, Dick Miller, and the rest of the cast. He also discusses the film's brief theatrical run and the film's cult status and much more. I neglected to mention that Dick Miller is in this film. As if you needed another reason, or as if this movie needed another reason in cementing itself as an all-time classic, of course, Dick Miller is in the movie. Next up, we have The Bradster, an interview with actor Alan Kaiser. It's 7 minutes and 42 seconds in length. Mr. Kaiser discusses auditioning for the role of The Bradster. He discusses being a bit of a method actor on the set and not socializing with his co-stars. He discusses the zombie makeup and how challenging it was to perform in it and more. Very nice interview with Mr. Kaiser. Next up, we have I Vote for That One, an interview with actor Ken Herron. It's 10 minutes and 12 seconds in length. Mr. Herron discusses how he got cast in Creeps. He discusses the sets and the makeup process to become Zombie Johnny. He discusses working with Fred Decker and what a great director he was. He discusses the movie's legacy and meeting a very excited fan. Very nice interview with Mr. Herron. Next up, we have Worst Coroner Ever, an interview with actor Vic Polizos. It's 6 minutes and 28 seconds in length. Mr. Polizos discusses working on Saint Elsewhere during the day and Night of the Creeps at night at the same time. He discusses the unique difficulties of his character having to be eating something in every scene that he's in. He discusses working with Tom Atkins and more. Nice interview with Mr. Polizos. Next up, we have Answering the Door, an interview with actress Susan Schneider. It's 4 minutes in length. Miss Schneider discusses not being a horror fan, even though she kept getting cast in horror films during the 80s. She discusses the fandom for Creeps and why the film has withstood the test of time. Next up, we get Final Cut, an interview with editor Michael K. New. It's 11 minutes and 21 seconds in length. Mr. New discusses working on House, which Fred Decker wrote the story for, and from that, he was asked to edit Creeps. He discusses working with Fred Decker on the set, advising him on additional shots, pacing, etc. He discusses what a pro Tom Atkins is. He discusses the film's lasting impact, and more. Nice interview with Mr. New. Next up, we get Horror's Hallowed Grounds, a look at the film's locations today. It's 10 minutes and 56 seconds in length, in which host Sean Clark is joined by Fred Decker and Jason Lively to revisit the shooting locations of Night of the Creeps. Very nice. Horrors Hollow Grounds. We get 2 audio commentaries, one audio commentary with Fred Decker, and the other audio commentary is with Tom Atkins, Jill Whitlow, Jason Lively, and Steve Marshall. Both of these commentaries were on the original DVD release for Night of the Creeps, and both of the commentaries are very good. On the theatrical cut disc, we get all of the extras that were on the DVD release from several years ago that were produced by Red Shirt Pictures. All of them are fantastic. First up, we get Thrill Me, The Making of Night of the Creeps. It is an excellent multi-part making of documentary. You get interviews with Fred Decker, Tom Atkins, Jason Lively, Jill Whitlow, Steve Marshall, David B. Miller, Howard Berger, Robert Kurtzman, Charles Gordon, Michael New, and more. Basically, everything and anything you could possibly want to know about the making of Night of the Creeps is in this multi-part making of documentary. Next up, we get Tom Atkins' Man of Action. It's 19 minutes and 55 seconds in length, in which the living legend Tom Atkins himself discusses how he got into acting, his early acting gigs. He discusses working with William Peter Blatty on The Ninth Configuration. He discusses working with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis on The Fog. He discusses working on Halloween 3. He discusses working with George Romero on Creepshow, Two Evil Eyes, and Bruiser. He discusses working on Night of the Creeps. He discusses meeting Shane Black on the set of Night of the Creeps, and Black asking him to read the screenplay for Lethal Weapon, which Tom Atkins did. He loved it, and Black actually wanted him to read for the role of Riggs. Of course, he did not get the role of Riggs. He got a role in the film, however, but just not as Riggs. However, Atkins would have made, I think, an excellent Riggs. I just imagine Atkins with like a mullet. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. He discusses working with Richard Donner on Lethal Weapon. This is just a wonderful sit-down discussion with the great Tom Atkins talking about some of his most famous movie roles. Great, great stuff. We also get 7 minutes and 39 seconds of deleted scenes and a theatrical trailer. This is an excellent release from Scream Factory for Night of the Creeps. You get both cuts of the movie. You get lots of great new extras as well as all of the old extras from the DVD release ported over, so it's the best of both worlds. You got great picture quality and sound quality and a really nice presentation here. This is just a win-win for Night of the Creeps. Again, if you've not seen Night of the Creeps, by all means, go out and watch Night of the Creeps right now. This Blu-ray would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film. If you're a fan of Night of the Creeps, you definitely want to look into picking up this Blu-ray and adding it to your collection. If you managed to pick up this Blu-ray release from Scream Factory for Night of the Creeps, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. If you were lucky enough to pick up the limited edition release, which included this awesome Tom Atkins Detective Cameron NECA figure, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time,
it's Miller time.
Join the $1 a month club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons: Kevin Smythe, Orc145626, B-Movie Mike, Robert Sobel, Turi Delamore, Stephen Flanagan, Lori Holt, Craig Farron Sutton, Jeremiah Lambert, Grindhouse Grotto, Derek Jana, Demon Waffles, Simon Clark, Stone Gassman, Zachary Barton, James Welch, Eli Geisler, Jeff Overing, Pete Toll, Kyle McGuire, Jay the Stingray, Lauren Dixon, Andrew McDonald, Dave Barnes, Jonathan Lundy, Chris Gonzalez, Trenton Bowser, Jason Breitenbach, and Brandon Bisdick. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.